That's a short, stocky man who's wearing a brown jacket. I'm talking about the guy in the brown jacket. And he is actually running along a field on the Hungarian Serbian border, not far from a town called Roske. Okay? And in this image it doesn't show, but while he was running, I'll show you a video later, he was holding on to this bag where it's written something in German with his left hand, and his right hand he was carrying his son, 7-year-old son, and his name is Zaid. This man has sewn $600 in his undergarments to keep it safe. He is 53 years old, a truck driver's son, and a physical education instructor and a football coach by profession, but a Syrian refugee by circumstances. He and his 7-year-old son are two of the hundreds of thousands of Syrians fleeing their country to look for a living and a safe environment, and they are fleeing the country. His name is Osama Abdul Mohsen. Okay? And the image you see here is in a field which is about 2 to 3 acres wide. There were hundreds of people who are again fleeing Syria, thousands of people rather, 1,000 to 1,500 people. There were also about 100 policemen who are trying to obstruct them from entering Hungary, because Hungary has rigid rules. They do not allow refugees to enter. That's a field where if they cross the field and go to the surrounding countries, then there is a survival. They are trying to go to Germany. Okay? Just go to the next slide, please. Now this is a lady. That's our protagonist, Mohsen, Mr. Mohsen. Now this is a lady. I'll tell you in a while about her. Now what has happened to Mohsen is that he's been living in that field for last 2 days. I'm talking about, the date I'm talking about is September 8, 2015. He and his son have been staying in that field for 2 nights. The son is already running fever. He's coughing and he's running temperature. The only blanket they had, apart from that handbag, they only had a blanket, and somebody robbed it on the 8th of September morning. Mohsen is getting desperate because his son may or may not survive the cold weather for much longer. He has to get to security. He's trying to reach his son who's already in Germany, his elder son. It's a family of 6, the parents and 4 children. 2 older siblings are staying with the mother in Syria. Once Mohsen gets to a secure place and finds a job for himself, he'll call for the family. Now that's the plan. And they've been planning that for nearly 3 years. And because of shortage of fund, they've not been able to do it. Finally, one of Mohsen's brothers comes and gives them $600 saying, look, I won't be able to flee. At least you go to safety and take care of your family. And that's why Mohsen is on the run. This lady is a camera woman who works for a Hungarian publication, Hungarian TV channel. And the TV channel is fully in agreement with the Hungarian rule that they should not allow refugees into the city, into the country. Go to the next one. Now this is Stephen Richer. What happens during this issue, during this entire episode, is that Mohsen is trying to run away from the policemen who are trying to stop him, block him. So he's carrying the child, and in his hand there's a bag, and he's running while the camera woman trips him. She does something which is more like a half kick and a half trip, and he falls. He gets up and he starts screaming at the policeman whom he mistakes to be the person who actually tripped him. Right? Stephen Richer is a German journalist, a reporter, who's there in the field because there are hundreds of them trying to capture the action. There's chaos in the field. People are running and shouting and screaming. The tension is palpable because People are fleeing for safety and they are being obstructed. In the chaos, Stephen Richer misses his cameraman. He's just lost, and because he doesn't want to miss the action, he just switches on his iPhone and holds it above his hand and starts recording what is happening there, the event which is unfolding before his eyes. Mohsen being tripped by the lady is recorded by Stephen. All he does is on that same evening, he goes and uploads it on YouTube and tweets about it. And in a very short while, it reach Germany and they connect with their son, the older son. And he receives a call from Miguel saying, would you like to come to Spain? Would you like to join an education program? It will contain teaching you the language of the country, providing you a home, providing you a job. Mohsen is speechless. Of course, he takes up the offer. He and his two sons reach Spain, and there they are very warmly welcomed and taken as a coach of the association, one of the football coaches. The person who was obstructed from entering a country, the little boy, Zaid, becomes a mascot of Real Madrid, the football team. And what's the name of the guy? Cristiano Ronaldo actually carries him into, and he allows him to go to the football game. Shall we just take a look at the short video? He's actually scolding the policeman, saying, you tripped me and that's an act of a dog. He's being abusive to the policeman because he doesn't really know who tripped him. As they go along their way to Germany, or they actually go via some route which is very strenuous, they don't really know that his fall has been captured on video. He's totally oblivious, right? Now, why do you think the short video and the story was impactful? Why did it reach 30 or 40 million views? She actually trips more people. His video is a slightly longer video, and she's actually kicked and tripped many more people. So, but it was going unnoticed till Stephen recorded it and posted it. So it's actually, there's a power in the stories, right? Everyone has a fascination. I mean, I grew up listening to my grandmother telling me stories from Shiv Puran, Mahabharat, Ramayana. Literally, every meal was a trip to some unknown fairyland, right? Every meal, because it is mostly during meal time that you will be throwing a tantrum to eat, and then the grandmother or the mother will tell you a story and feed you, right? So there is a fascination which we have developed from our childhood, right? What else? Are they memorable? Are they easier to tell? Do they carry a message? Yeah. If a story is told with all the elements, there is a protagonist, there is a villain, there is somebody who helps, then there is a happily ever after kind of a situation. So stories are memorable, and they are usually easy to communicate to others. Stories usually get transmitted. We in our country have this tradition of oral storytelling, right? We've always, there are so many methods. In my part of the country, South Canara, there is something called as a Yakshagana, where people wear, resplendent outfits, and it's overnight, people sit in a field and watch. They're nothing but stories rendered in different manners, right? Today we have advanced techniques to create videos and digital storytelling. Now, there is a person who has written a book called Contagious. Okay, his name is Jonah Berger. He talks about how a marketing message or a sales message can be made memorable and can be made to go viral. It can go contagious, literally, So what he talks about is, apart from stories are one of the main aspects which can make your message See, when we talk about features, it becomes boring and people may or may not remember. Numbers also get forgotten after a while. When you hear it, you listen to it, that's your left brain working. But when you listen to a story, it stays in your mind, right? So apart from that, there's a concept called as social currency. Social currency talks about is to provide an information, to make a person feel like an insider, right? Now if I'm working with the board animation team and I go to some other third party event and talk about some information which is available to the inner circle, then I'm also seen as a person with some influence, right? It makes you feel special. In any networking event, you need topics to talk about. So this is one method with which you can create evangelists or influencers for your product or for your company by providing them information, updates on what's happening in your organization, right? The other one is a trigger. What I'm trying to show you here is the association of one word with another. The moment you say salt, pepper automatically comes to our mind. When you talk about burgers, maybe McDonald's comes to your mind. You talk about Tom, probably Jerry comes to your mind. So I suppose you get what I'm trying to say, right? Strongly associated with some strong connect, and then it becomes easy to pass your information about your company or your product or service to people. Emotions, right? Somebody being treated as an underdog also gets carried. Bad emotions also have the same impact as good emotions, right? That's another one. Practical value. Inherently we want to help others. People are having good intentions always. And if you facilitate that, if you facilitate someone to connect your business to someone else, that's the principle of BNI, right? Givers gain. So help people identify things of your business, product, service, solution, and they will be more than happy to connect you to someone else. Here's a small example I want to talk about, or a survey which was done. I don't remember exactly who did it, but there was a survey done among 3 groups. Okay, one group was told, if you refer my product to your friend, I'll give you $10 as a commission, referral fee. That was a bunch of people. The second bunch was told, if you refer my product to your friend, you will get $5 and your friend will get $5. And the third one is where you will not get anything but your friend will get a $10 discount. Which group do you think did the best? $10, maybe that group will do well, but they didn't because they had a guilt feeling that they're cheating their friend or they're not passing on the benefit. But when they had a level playing field, when there was fairness involved, that was the group which did very well. So this is another example of why people like to help others and how this showing the practical value of your product or service actually can take your business forward, right? The last one is public. This is where usually when you put up your case study or an explainer video, it gets really, it propagates very fast because monkey see, monkey do. Till the monkey sees it, it may not be able to do it, right? It's also called as social proof, where when you see a success, somebody else would want to take your product or service and use it, right? So these are a couple of things which Jonah Berger in his book talks about. So I don't know how many of you have heard of another video which went viral. It's called United Breaks Guitars. Okay, there's a lesser heard of singer at that point in time, and he's traveling by United Airways. They are a group of musicians going to perform in some other city, and they board the flight, and because the guitar case is very huge and unwieldy, they can't take it inside the flight. So they give it to for loading it. And as they are sitting and waiting for the flight to take off, when they look out, they notice that their guitar cases are being thrown between 2 of the people who are loading the luggage into the boot. So Lewis Carroll talks to the air hostess who's close by, saying, look, it's my $3,500 guitar. Please ask them to handle it carefully. All our music instruments are being thrown around. Nobody pays attention to him. So desperately he tries to stop, nothing happens. They reach their destination, and sure enough the guitar is broken, right? And now he starts running from pillar to post to lodge a complaint saying that his guitar is broken, and he's trying to get some compensation for the damage. United doesn't listen to him. don't entertain him. He runs around for nearly 7 days. Finally, one clerk agrees to register his complaint. When he gives the complaint, she sees the date and says, oh, but you should have lodged the complaint within 24 hours. And he doesn't get any benefit, or he doesn't get any refund for the damage. In the meanwhile, what he has done is written a song and he plays it and posts it on YouTube. Now that gets millions of views. And the stock rate of United goes down, right? Even then, United still doesn't come back to him. The Fender is a guitar case company. They take advantage of this, right? It's a very smart move, a very smart PR move. What he does is he creates a special case and gives it to Lewis Carroll, saying, look, use Fender cases, your guitar will never break. Now his video also goes millions of views, right? So what I'm trying to say here is some of these smart marketing and literally lean marketing methods can take your business a long way. Now this is a survey which I want to bring your attention to. This was done by Nielsen in 2015, right? It talks about recommendations of people whom we know. Most of us will refer or ask for recommendations from our friends, right? Before we make a sizable investment. May not be for small things, but if you were to buy an iPhone or if you were to buy a car, maybe you will look around among your friends, among your sphere of influence to see if somebody else is buying, and then you go and ask them, how's the product, etc., etc. If they speak something that will convince you to make the purchase, maybe you will go ahead and buy, right? So that percentage of people who ask for recommendations or believe or agree or trust the recommendation is as high as 83%. And this is mostly face-to-face or one-on-one, right? But even up to 66% opinions posted online are trusted. So this is the high value of what is called as earned media. There's three kinds of media. One is your own media, which is your website, your collaterals that you print, or any other marketing collaterals and that you have a control on. That's under your control. You create it at the pace at which you want. You put what you want, right? The other one is paid media. The paid media is typically if you sponsor an event or if you put up a hoarding, you put an advertisement in a mainline publication, that is paid. Again there, the content is under your control because you're paying for it, right? Now no matter how much we harp or we shout from the rooftops, everybody knows we have a vested interest, right? So we are saying what we want people to hear. So there is a certain amount of reservation that people take this message from. But what is earned media? Earned media is a customer giving you a recommendation or a testimonial, or it could be a media person writing about you in their publication, right? There is a certain amount of risk they take on their credibility before they write. People who read it assume there must be truth in what this person is saying, because usually these are influential people. Media is considered to be highly influential, right? So this is the kind of marketing that I would like you to explore someday. The form of marketing in which the focus is placed on specific key individuals who have a sphere of influence. They have a follower base. It could be online, it could be offline, right? Now, Stephen Richer and his video picked up such high traction basically because he was from the media. So the reason why the video was picked very highly is because it was totally credible. There was a video being recorded when there was an event unfolding. He was a media person and he put it on a very popular form of media, that is earned media. Mohsen, right? Mohsen, the last I read, when I did my research, he is with his 2 sons now in Spain and he is trying to get his wife and 2 children from Syria, right? The lady, the photographer, she loses a job. Okay, she loses a job. I'm reasonably sure the journalist who took the video and posted it also has risen to fame, right? His video has reached so many people. He's been talked about. His credibility might have increased. What about Miguel? Isn't he seen as a very good soul? Yeah, So multiple people also were impacted. I'm talking about the 4 people who directly come to my mind. There might be hundreds of others, right? The very fact that Mohsen and his family went on to live in a place, in a safe and secure place itself is thanks to the video. Thank you very much.